Cohort 4 provides a really important space, safe space for women in our area with long-term complex disadvantage resulting from abuse. And I saw this funding and I thought, I've never been successful in applying for funding from Comic Relief, but I saw it and I knew that we had a gaping gap in our operations, and that was to have a safe, effective case management system and information security detail. In 8 years, we've managed with keeping secure paper files in filing cabinets, but it's totally inefficient. It didn't feel safe, and it's not accessible. This was unusual, this funding, because you fill out the application, and I have to be honest, I didn't know how much any of this costed, so it was guesswork. The DOT project that we were linked up with, Kat and Nick, and they spent time with us to really pinpoint the brief that we needed and the mechanism of approaching tech organisations. Again, I would not have been able to do that even if I'd have worked and researched on it for a couple of years. I just wouldn't have been able to do that. So all of that as a whole package, together with the additional bits of training we've been able to access, the workshops, the online information security training, as a massive whole package, it's been, I think, the most fundamentally important piece of funding that Cohort 4 has had in 8 years.
This project came about because we identified about 12 months ago that there was no support, there was a lack of support services for the trans, non-binary and genderqueer communities. So we decided that we wanted to pilot a service and we wanted it by Infor.
We found that a lot of the trans community works digitally and online. So we worked with getting an online referral form, which means it's easier for people nationally to access our service. As soon as we launched, we had a referral in that day straight away.
There was a referral come through of a young trans woman who had been placed in a male hostel for the last 6 weeks and had suffered rape from 6 men outside the hostel. Oh. We agreed that we would accommodate that person in one of our safe house accommodation. What I liked about this funding was there was a trust really to allow us to get on with innovating, and a trust that we knew what was needed, and also then putting in the tech support from DOT made us accountable. So we felt like we were being steered in the right direction as well.
The name of our organisation is BAWZO. We are an all Wales charity that runs domestic abuse services, which includes other violence against women areas, including forced marriage, FGM, and supporting victims of human trafficking.
The MOJ funding has really helped us as an organisation to become resilient and future-proof by moving to the cloud version of Office 365 SharePoint.
The funding helped the organisation to be able to provide or produce a website. Immediately we receive referrals or contacts from women in the community. We've then seen an increase in referrals and just self-referrals as well. Our new website offers security functions that anyone who is accessing information on our website or communicating with us through the live chat, they can easily exit without their online footprints being monitored and being traced. And on a daily basis, just to give you an example, today alone in the morning, when I switched on my computer, there were already 3 emails that had come through our helpline, and we were able to quickly send them, refer them to our support staff, and for the women to be able to be supported. There were also 2 emails that came through from other partners who were contacting us for support. So I can say, yes, we are still new. The website was just launched last month on 24th March, but we are already seeing significant changes and improvement for the women and also for the organization.
Well, my name is Yvonne Sanders Hamilton, and I'm the ICT coordinator for London Black Women's Project. So now we serve basically Black, Asian, minority ethnic women. These are women escaping domestic or sexual violence. We had lots of ideas, but because of, I guess, the resources that we had, we were pretty much focused on providing frontline support that the women needed. But now we can think about new ways of providing that same support, and we have a much broader reach. So I think game changing is probably the best thing, because it has changed the game for us, for sure. We have, I think it's 7 refuges spread across London. We were able to install much better Wi-Fi. I guess they call it professional hotel quality Wi-Fi. We've had that recently, which includes cabling and getting guys in to actually put that in place. That's improved everything. So everyone pretty much has access to the technology, and the children as well, because naturally many of them have to do homework, or during the pandemic, of course, they were home. But we're no longer in that maternalistic role of just looking after the women, giving you that space to reimagine your life. And they're future focused. They're not just sitting there thinking about what happened to them.
So we're an LGBTQ specialist domestic abuse project and work with clients of any risk level who have historically experienced domestic abuse or are currently experiencing it.
Switchboard as an organisation, right? The Switchboard has been around since 1975.
Wow.
So we're a trusted community organisation. We've just never been in the domestic abuse sector before. So it's so important that we get it right.
We were in a really vulnerable position of, not having worked with this client group before. You really want to get it right so that there's trust built in the community, and thankfully we did. We take away a lot of the bureaucratic stress and barriers that our communities have previously faced in accessing services. We hear it all the time that kind of they feel like other services that they've accessed were just not made for them or built for them, and that they've had to fit themselves into boxes that don't work. Yeah. So we're able to give that choice, and it feels really empowering.
It's great having the money, but actually it's not just the money, it's having that additional mentorship, support, whatever comes alongside that money, that actually is the true value in many ways. It's that added value that really brings it to life. It means that from the money we get the very best value from it. So there's money and there's value. So the money is great, but the value is exponentially on top of that kind of award of money. So this award and the support that came with it, if you could bottle it and put it in a kind of few words, like you said, it would be that, definitely reinvigorated. I think it's a really kind of exciting time for the organisation. So this project has given a new lease of life, I think, to the organisation.